Hello everybody, my name is Specialist Cook. I'm going to be giving you guys an unclassified brief. You guys are more than welcome to take notes if you would like. You definitely don't have to, but if you would like to, go ahead. We're going to be going over legal and the NCO leader. Anybody want to put any input on what they think legal and the NCO leader is going to be about? Awesome. Great input. You guys did amazing. Key points. We have NCO leadership, we have duties, authority, responsibility, and moral obligations that we're going to be going over today. NCO leadership. We are known as the backbone of the Army, so for most NCOs, it's kind of something heavy for them to be carrying around on their shoulders, knowing that they're, the backbone of the Army. We are here to guide soldiers, so we need to make sure that if any soldier needs guidance throughout their time as a private and any time that they're coming up, that we are there for them. If they need help on understanding a certain type of standard or understanding how to properly conduct PT, anything like that, we are there to lead them and properly show them the way. There are many NCOs out there that kind of don't really do it. They kind of like half-ass it and they don't really go full force. Make sure that you are one of those NCOs that stand out. It'll help a little trainee, even a trainee eventually. And then we represent the standard. So that's a big key to me. So that means that, it's nice to be clean. Your uniform's in shape, your boots are bloused, your hair is up, you don't have all these loose hairs falling out. For males, it's probably best for you guys to make sure that you're clean shaven, that your hair is cut, that you're not looking sloppy, that your uniform's together, your name tags not all crooked, anything weird like that. What is our duty? We have legal obligations and we have moral obligations. Legal is something that's kind of to our jobs. It is something to make sure that our unit is successful. Moral obligation is accountable for self and others. So it is always good to make sure that you are in one piece and that your soldiers and or your peers are all in one piece as well. Found this little quote online. I thought it was cute. It would be correct to say that every moral obligation involves a legal duty, but every legal duty is founded on a moral obligation. Anybody have any input on what they think that this quote means? All right, good job, Jeffrey, back there. You did great. I like that input. Awesome. All right, responsibilities. There are many responsibilities that we have as NCOs already. And one of them is prepare soldiers for operation. We have to make sure that our soldiers are ready for any operation, whether it be a little operation like just at your unit, or if it's something that you're going to be actually out doing in the field. You need to make sure that they are ready for those operations at all times. There's many subtasks that kind of go along with any types of operations, but we'll get into that later. You need to make sure that your soldier is mentally and physically well. You need to care about their well-being. You need to make sure that they are ready for combat if they are willing to go do that. You need to make sure that you're not sending some crazy guy out there that just wants to kill everybody and just go to Afghanistan and just unload on everybody. You want to make sure they're not sending some suicidal person out there that wants to hit their breaking point. They snap and they kill themselves, which is something that no one should ever have to go through. Maintenance and equipment is also another big responsibility that we have for our soldiers and for ourselves. Maintenance pertains to your weapon, your gear, and your body. You need to make sure all three of those things are well at all times. It is a great thing to have. You need to make sure that you are planning and leading. So when you're planning something, you need to make sure that you have a from start to finish type thing. You make sure that your soldiers know what the plan is from the beginning. Make sure you have time sets, anything like that. And whenever you lead, you need to make sure that they are following you and that you're right there by their side, that you're not ahead of the pack and you have all these stragglers back here. You need to make sure that they are all together. You guys are kind of one. You guys are a team. You guys aren't broken into separate pieces. You guys are all one. And the last one is implement commander's intent. So usually, as an NCO, like lower NCO, you're not going to be the first one to receive the commander's intent. It's usually going to be passed down from chain of command, but it is your job to implement it, to make sure that it is put in place and that everybody is following the commander's intent. That is very high key whenever it is put out in any type of war zones or deployments. Alright, our NCO duties. There are 3 types of duties. There's specified, which is something that pertains to your job. So for me, I am a 68 Echo, which is a dental specialist. I need to make sure that I know how to do my dental specialist job. Something that is directed, which is usually orally given, an orally given task, meaning that, you're going to be PT leader or you are going to do this or do that. It's usually something that is kind of directed at you, that is given to you as a task, kind of like an order. And then there's also implied, something like keeping up with your uniform, making sure that your soldiers are well-rounded, and volunteering for things. So if you see that there's a color guard that's coming up, or flag detail, whatever you have it, volunteer for those things and show others how they can do it to better standards. Authority. There is 2 types of authority. There is command authority, and then there's general military authority. Command authority is when it's kind of passed down from leader to leader. It's all within your leadership. So it's, commander to first sergeant to platoon sergeants to squad leaders, and then the squad leaders kind of distribute it to the rest of us. And then general military is when it extends to all soldiers. So let's say your platoon sergeant isn't there that day and you don't have anyone to lead you guys. So what you should do as the NCOs, you should step up and you should take that platoon sergeant space or spot until they return or until you are told otherwise to step down from that spot, because, you don't really need to be in that spot anymore because they're there. And then, make sure I didn't, okay. And then we have moral obligations. Moral obligations is usually something that we owe, how we should perform, and our natural rights, which, they're founded on natural rights. Everybody has their own natural rights, but our moral obligations are founded on our natural rights, what everybody thinks is a natural right. Given, freedom of speech, that's a natural right. Kind of the same concept. All right, do I have anybody that has any questions? All right, little Billy back there, you have some questions? All right, sweet. You were just playing about the questions. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sounds amazing. So, this risk assessment is low. Anything that we could improve? Make sure I'm not moving my hands around anymore. Roger that. I'll make sure that I don't do too much around there. What we were supposed to do was give a presentation on legal and NCO leader, and that's exactly what we did. And this concludes my class. Thank you guys for coming. Also, here are my references.